Hello friends, welcome back. This is Himanshu Verma. Till now we have learned cutoff wavelength and cutoff frequency for a waveguide. For parallel plane waveguide, cutoff wavelength lambda c is equal to 2d divided by m and cutoff frequency fc is equal to mc upon 2d. We also observed that in waveguide propagation we can define two velocities. One is group velocity and second is phase velocity. Group velocity is defined the velocity by which wave energy propagates in z direction. Phase velocity is defined the velocity by which phase of the wave propagates in z direction. In free space propagation for unbounded medium, the group velocity and phase velocity have same value, which is c, that is velocity of light, and therefore in that case we did not define group velocity and phase velocity separately. We defined only one velocity, that is velocity of electromagnetic wave in free space unbounded medium. Finally, we can conclude that in unbounded medium only one velocity exists and in bounded medium two velocities, that is phase velocity and group velocity, exist. We also observed that phase velocity is always greater than or equals to group velocity. If we observe this diagram carefully, then we find that the wave is propagating in this direction and phase changes from P1 to P4 in this much distance, that is capital D distance. But if we see in Z direction, then phase changes from P1 to P4 for this much distance, which is equal to D upon sin theta I. So if we talk about wavelength, then wavelength in this direction is higher than wavelength in this direction. The wavelength in Z direction is known as guided wavelength, denoted by lambda g, and wavelength in this direction, in which the wave is propagating in real time, the wavelength is denoted by lambda. Therefore we can say the guided wavelength lambda g is equal to lambda upon sin theta I, where lambda is the wavelength for unbounded medium. Means if boundaries were not existing, then the wavelength would be lambda. But due to presence of boundary, concept of guided wavelength comes, where guided wavelength lambda g is equal to lambda upon sin of theta I. And this expression clearly shows guided wavelength is always greater than or equal to lambda in unbounded medium. So now I can write three expressions. Vg is equal to c into sin of theta I, Vp is equal to c upon sin of theta I, and lambda g is equal to lambda upon sin of theta I. Now if we talk about phase constant, then in this direction phase constant would be 2 pi upon lambda, because in this direction wavelength is lambda. But in this direction, that is in z direction, wavelength is guided wavelength, that is lambda g. That's why in this direction phase constant is denoted by beta bar, which will be equal to 2 pi upon lambda g. Lambda g can be replaced with lambda upon sin theta I, and then 2 pi upon lambda can be replaced with beta. So phase constant in z direction, that is beta bar, is equal to beta sin of theta I. So we can say that phase constant in z direction is less than actual phase, that is phase in unbounded medium. Now if we find omega upon beta bar, then it becomes omega upon beta sin of theta I. Omega upon beta can be replaced by c, so it becomes c upon sin theta I, which is equal to phase velocity. Therefore we can say phase velocity Vp is equal to omega upon beta bar, where beta bar is phase constant in z direction. Now after calculating all these parameters, now we will put the value of sin of theta I. Because in exam questions, we are not given incidence angle sin of theta I. In fact, we will be given mode of propagation, operating frequency, and dimensions of the waveguide. That's why we will put value of sin of theta I. As we know, cos of theta I is equal to m lambda upon 2d. So sin of theta I will be 1 minus m lambda upon 2d whole of square under the root. We also know cutoff wavelength lambda c is equal to 2d upon m. That's why we can replace 2d upon m with lambda c, and it becomes 1 minus lambda upon lambda c whole of square. We can write this expression in terms of frequency also. Lambda can be replaced by c upon f, and lambda c can be replaced by c upon fc. It gives us sin of theta I equal to 1 minus fc upon f whole of square under the root. We can remember this expression just by knowing as this complete quantity under the root should be positive. It is possible only if this quantity is less than 1. As cutoff wavelength is always greater than operating wavelength, that's why cutoff wavelength will come in denominator. But in case of frequency, cutoff frequency should always be less than operating frequency. That's why cutoff frequency will come in numerator. These things we should take care. We can replace this expression sin of theta I in terms of phase constant beta also. As lambda is wavelength in unbounded medium, therefore lambda can be written as lambda is equal to 2 pi upon beta. As lambda c is cutoff wavelength, so it can be written as lambda c equal to 2 pi upon h, where h is the cutoff phase. If we solve this, then we get sine of theta I equal to 1 minus h upon beta whole of square under the root. It clearly shows that the unbounded beta should always be greater than cutoff phase, that is h. Now finally we can conclude that in waveguide propagation we have 3 phase and 3 wavelength. 3 phase are beta, beta bar and h, where beta is phase constant in unbounded medium, beta bar is phase constant in z direction and h is phase constant in x direction, or it is also known that cutoff phase constant. Correspond to these phase constants, the 3 types of wavelengths are lambda, lambda g and lambda c. Lambda is wavelength in unbounded medium, lambda g is wavelength in z direction and lambda c is cutoff wavelength or wavelength in x direction. For remembering purpose, we can draw a triangle and mark beta, beta bar and h. Suppose these are 2 planes of waveguide and wave propagate in this direction and incident with angle of incidence theta I. Here we can complete this right angle triangle and mark this side as beta, which shows unbounded phase, this as beta bar, which shows phase in z direction, and this as h, which shows phase in x direction or cutoff phase. As this angle is theta I, so this angle would be 90 degree minus theta I. Now beta can be written as 2 pi upon lambda, beta bar can be written as 2 pi upon lambda g, and h can be written as 2 pi upon lambda c. So from this triangle we can establish 2 relations. First relation is beta square is equal to beta bar square plus h square. If we write in terms of wavelength, then we can write 2 pi upon lambda whole of square is equal to 2 pi upon lambda g whole of square plus 2 pi upon lambda c whole of square. 2 pi is cancelled out, so it gives 1 upon lambda whole of square is equal to 1 upon lambda g whole of square plus 1 upon lambda c whole of square. So this is an important relation which connect guided wavelength and cutoff wavelength with operating wavelength. From this triangle, we can also write beta bar is equal to beta into cos of 90 degree minus theta, that is beta sine of theta, and h can be written as beta sine of 90 degree minus theta, that is beta cos of theta. Here sine of theta I can be replaced with any of these expression and cos of theta I can be replaced with m lambda upon 2d. If we put cos of theta I as m lambda upon 2d, then h is equal to, as beta is 2 pi upon lambda, so it becomes 2 pi upon lambda into m lambda upon 2d. Lambda lambda cancel out, 2 and 2 cancel out, so it gives h is equal to m pi upon d. So this expression we should also take care. Finally we can conclude that this triangle can give us all results. These are 2 planes of waveguide. This side is beta, h and beta bar. We can make this triangle in terms of lambda also. This side 1 upon lambda, this side 1 upon lambda g, this side 1 upon lambda c, and this angle is 90 degree minus theta I. This angle is also 90 degree minus theta I. Knowing these triangles, we should remember value of cos of theta I, that is m lambda upon 2d. We should remember phase velocity Vp is equal to omega upon beta bar. We should remember Vp into Vg is equal to c square, because if Vp is known, then we can calculate Vg, where Vg is equal to c square upon Vp. And we should also remember h is equal to m pi upon d. In exam, most of the question are asked from these formulas only, so we should learn them carefully. Friends, we stop here. In the next lecture, we will learn about different modes of propagation. Please like and share the video and subscribe the channel. If you have any doubt, please ask in comment section. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.